Hello, 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 everyone. This is your host, Lizzabitty. We are on the road to 1K. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please be mindful and do so. If you enjoy the content that is being put out, like the video. That shows appreciation. While we're on the road to 1K, we will be able to go live from our cell phone. Yes. So let's get started. Today, we have a guest, okay? We are namesakes. And so we're just going to have a candid conversation about what we're doing with Alkebulan, Mama Africa. So I'm going to bring my guest on and allow her to introduce herself, and we're going to chop it up for about an hour. As you know, that's my stilo. And for all of those who are out there in the bushes, please comment and engage. Okay? So let's bring our guest in. Hello, Finish the Race. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for inviting me to your platform. I'm really excited. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is my first time ever doing this, so I'm like, this is out of my comfort zone.
That's okay. That is okay. That is okay. We're not going to trip you up. We're just going to have a casual conversation, exchange some thought ideas about Mother Alkebulan, Mama Africa, and just see where it takes us. Typically, I don't go more than an hour, so there you have it. I would not monopolize all of your time.
Awesome.
So I'd like to introduce yourself, and then we will proceed.
Okay. Well, I'm Liz, the host of Finish the Race VL. I'm located here in Houston, Texas, and just recently, about maybe 4 months ago, I've decided to make a decision to take a journey back home to Africa. And this is a huge decision that I've made, but I know in my spirit and my heart that this is a right decision for me, just to get the true healing that I need for myself, because there's so much that I have endured here in America that I feel like, why do I have to continue to not be happy where I'm living at? And why not continue the rest of my life in a place that I know that I can flourish and also be just to be happy, just to be happy.
So. Understood. Do you actually how did you come about deciding to move to the continent? Have you been on the continent before? And tell us about your lineage with that.
Okay, so I have been on the continent before twice. I've only been to one country, which is Nigeria. I haven't had a chance to tell this story on my channel because I don't know, it's not too much details, but I guess I can share a little bit of it. My father is from Nigeria. He's no longer with us. He's transitioned on about 4 years ago in 2016. Okay. But there was a time when I was younger, he wanted to, he asked my mother if he can raise me in Africa. However, she did not want that. And so I never had the opportunity to kind of just be there. And I've only seen him 3 times in my life. Wow. 3 times. Yes. But the few times that I did have the opportunity to go to Nigeria, I can say my first initial reaction when I got off the plane, immediately my spirit felt so connected to the land, to the people. It was almost like a missing piece to the puzzle was just been placed into my heart, into my life. And I was like, this is it. This is where I'm supposed to be. But unfortunately, of course, I have to go back to the US, because I have to go back to work. And at that time, I was 25 years old when I had taken my first trip. But I remember distinctively feeling like I did not want to come back. Actually, I had purposely missed my flight so I wouldn't have to come back. And I had to explain to my employers why I wasn't back home to go back to work. I literally did not want to come back. So yes, I've been twice. And I can honestly say that when I knew it was the best feeling that I've ever had, and I wanted to experience that again. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. So you do have your, your other side of your patriarchal genealogy. So
Right.
that's good. That's
Yes.
good.
On my
That's
father's side, not my mother's side, but on my
right,
father's. Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Will you take the African ancestry?
I want to research that a little bit more to see how they actually come about with the whole
Hmm.
narrowing it down to where you're from. Because when I see other YouTubers that expose their results, it's like it's all over the continent. And I understand in slavery, they did a lot of interbreeding with other, African countries and stuff like that. So I understand how the bloodline can be mixed with a multiple of different.
Correct.
So yeah, in the future I'll do it and see, but I don't know.
Well, well, as you know, African ancestry, I want to say they are the only Black owned DNA testing agency that looks in terms of lineage. So
Okay.
I know that others have used different ones, but as far as I know, they are the only Black owned one. Dr. Gina, her last name eludes me right now. Me personally, I'm not taking the test. I'm kind of conflicted, just because I know I'm Black, and I'm fine with that.
Right, that's all you
I'm
need to know.
B1. So hey, I'm B1.
Right.
So I'm kind of, yeah. Although I'm happy when others do, their reviews
Reveal.
and things like that.
Yeah.
But just personally, I'm kind of jaded a bit.
Right.
So
I get it. I feel the same way too. I sometimes I feel like, is it really worth it?
yeah,
I know where my father is from, and I know pretty much I'm Nigerian, so
yeah.
that's why I'm taking my trip. In 3 weeks, I'll be there.
I know. And
Yeah,
you also mentioned in a previous video of yours that you were going to hit several other countries as well, and Ghana being one. So let me ask you this. This may be a stumper for you. Considering that you know the paternal side of your DNA, my question would be, why would you consider other countries outside of Nigeria? And FYI, I love Nigerian men. But go ahead.
Look at you, girl. I was married to one, but he ended up passing away in a car accident, and he was a wonderful, wonderful man. Very rarefied, but yeah, he passed on due
Okay.
to a car accident. But that's a good question. Why do I choose to live in other countries, knowing where technically I'm from? There's a couple of reasons why. First, I'm going to say, and I know I shouldn't feed into the negative reviews that some people say about Nigeria. And when they're saying how the crime and the kidnapping and stuff of that nature, I want to be at a place where I'm safe. And there were one time that the last time that I went to Nigeria, I had a family member who was trying to kidnap me.
Oh my goodness.
And, that poses a huge concern for me because with me being a single woman, I want to be in a environment where I'm safe.
Understood.
And I know there's a lot that's going on with the NSARS now, with the military people. When I go in a couple of weeks, I know my spirit would let me know if it's okay or not for me to be there. And this second reason why I'm choosing like Ghana is on my top list is I have a half brother here in Houston, and we both have different dads, and his dad is from Ghana. But unfortunately, my brother is in prison, and we always will share the fact that we know where we're from, where we're from. We know our fathers are African, because some African American people don't believe they're African. And with us, we kind of shared that bond together. And he will educate me so much about Ghana, even though he's from prison. He lives in, well, I say he's in prison. He studies Ghana like every single day. I mean, he knows how to speak the language.
Oh, wow.
He would tell me, "Oh, Liz, you need to know about the Ashanti tribe or this and that and the other." So that would be like my contribute to him if I do decide to go there. And plus, it's a beautiful place. It's gorgeous. I
Yeah.
mean, despite the little nuances of people saying that they get scammed and stuff like that, but I'm like, it doesn't matter. Wherever you're gonna be, people are
They
gonna
scam
scam
in
you.
America. America has
Exactly,
food crisis.
exactly.
People see, you know, and my brother Nakmeezy is in here. He and I agree to disagree. He says I'm Pan-African. No, I'm just black. I never put. I don't like these titles and things. I'm black,
Me either.
and so my dedication and my loyalty is to my melanated people. But America is getting ready to have a food crisis. People don't realize this. So you know, so people talk about all the nuances that happen on that Alkebulan. There's some real ills that plague the West that don't even touch, you know, the continent. People don't really realize that. I'm not saying it's a utopia. I've never said that. The only utopia you ever gonna get is when you leave planet Earth and be with your ancestors. Okay,
Yeah.
people, you know. So I recognize that there is no place that is untouched by some sort of petty or egregious crime. If there is one, you all put it in the chat so I can go there, because I go visit it and go check it out for you. I'll be the scout. I'm 6 continents deep, so I'll be the scout. I will go check it out first.
Well, you're the travelista. You've traveled to over 20 something countries, so you know you'll find it out. If anybody, it will be you.
I am an adventurer and a thrill seeker. So if they got one, I'll be there first.
Let us know. Please let us
I'll
know.
be the person. You know how like the military before they get ready to have a war, right?
Yeah.
They send in special forces or SEAL teams.
Yes.
I'm your SEAL team 6 right here. I'll go first because I ain't scared.
I'm the same way too. I'm a warrior. Like if you get to know me on a personal level, like I am a warrior and I'm a survivor. You can put me out in the woods somewhere and I know how to survive. Like literally.
And there you go. And there you go. And there you go. But you know, no, I only ask because you know, since you know your connection, typically the ones that know their connections, they are trying to go to the places, you know, where they found where their connections are. You know, just being able to see different countries on the continent, I definitely think it can assist in narrowing down which place that you actually want to make your final destination in terms of calling it home and all of that, because I have seen a lot and as such, you know, the people that do come and they want the Western industrialization, they can get it, but you're going to pay for that. See, you know what, Liz, what I find is interesting too, they'll say, well, I don't want to go down to Southern Africa. But that's when you're going to get everything that you're complaining about.
Yeah.
You're going to have all this industrialization. And with that, you're going to have all these health problems too. You know, with GMO and high blood pressure, diabetes.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's interesting, but hey, they can have all of that. Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa is waiting on you. And they should go there. I've been to all of those places. They can go there and they can live like they live in the West, but they don't want that because of the price tag. Well, which is it? Are you going because of the prices, or are you going for your ancestry? See, people, I think too, Liz, have to realize why they are making this journey. For me, it's in here and it's in here. Yeah. What does that mean? It means it's in my heart. It has been my contention for 20 plus years. I left the first time and should have stayed my butt where I was. But youth and you know, when you're young, you do stupid things, you know.
But you learn.
Yeah, exactly. Hindsight, you know, is always 2020. But I'm just saying that there are options for people, and people should take those options, and then don't make the option that you you decide to choose by saying it doesn't have this like America. Well, it's not America. Stay in America.
Right. That's the thing that I don't get when they get here and they're like, oh, well, this is not America. I mean, why would you go to France or any other place and want to be compared to the same place that you're in? You can't get the same thing. Now, like you said, in South Africa, Rwanda, and I think someone told me even Kenya. I'm not sure. Have you been to Kenya?
Yes.
It's supposed to resemble the likeness of the USA or whatever, but I mean, to each his own. It all depends on what are you coming to Africa for? What is your purpose? What is the reason? Are you coming here for work? Or are you coming here just to have the same lifestyles that you had in Africa? Is that me that's making that noise?
I don't hear anything.
Oh, maybe. Okay, I don't hear it anymore. Okay. It was something rattling or something like that.
You know what? I don't, if it comes, because it could be me. They basically, if you do hear something, it could be my end. They rewired our building and took out hard lines, and it is just making it disastrous for us. I'm going to put my earpiece in, and then this may actually help it. Give me one second. Oh, I'm reading the comments. Elizabeth says, okay. Okay, is that better?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
that's awesome.
Sauce. Okay,
yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess it all depends what is your purpose of coming, and your connection with the land, and then also is it your spirit calling you to be there or not? Because some people it could be for work or whatever the case may be. I know just recently with that new couple that came, the K squad or something like that. I mean, even though that they said that they did their research before coming, and even now, you get a lot of research on, okay, the electricity going in and out. We see the goats and the chickens and stuff like that. It's like you see that, and then when you get there, and it's like, but you knew that already because you researched that, and to to uproot your family and then take them back to the US, which is okay. That's their decision, but that's a huge decision to make. You knew that before coming. So you have to really know, what is the true purpose of you coming? Are you coming to have the same lifestyle that you had in the US? If so, then pick those places like South Africa, and that would give you all the pleasures that you need and the comfort that you're looking for. I think Ghana was not the place for them, and they should have just chosen another place that would fit their needs. And I hope in the future that they will, try it again and see if another place will work for them. So it's really important to take your time to research those things. For me, I'm the type of person, I can adapt in any type of environment. I feel like I'm a village girl. No, seriously. Like, okay. I call myself a country girl here because I'm such an outdoorsy person. I just love nature. I just love being surrounded by nature, just period, and good people and things of that nature. So having to go fetch water or do anything like that, of course, to some other people, they may not want to do that, but it's not a big deal to me. It's like, and plus on top of that, I grew up poor, so we knew how to,
do
we
things.
knew how to survive,
Yes. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm saying that they can follow the Real South Africa channel. The husband, Mark Blanton, and his wife that are down in South Africa. Yeah. They were on Search for Yahuru's channel the other day and talking about some things. But what I want them to do is start showcasing some Black-owned businesses. See, all that, I've been to South Africa numerous times. I have a really good friend of mine that has a chateau in Cape Town. I'm familiar with South Africa intimately.
Okay.
Show these Black-owned businesses. See, South Africa, it does have the infrastructure, just like the West. Yes. But due to the folks in the apartheid, yes, you do have wealthy Black people there. Mm-hmm. Showcase them. Those are the folks we want to see.
Right.
Who
And
don't
those
say
are
that?
and those are the people that will inspire a lot of people who are here in the US to say, hey, you do have the opportunity to do the same things at Black owned businesses, in that case, that yes, you can survive, you can build and start from scratch, kind of like Akon, with him.
Yes.
That's amazing work that he's doing. And he's one of the people that inspired me to believe that I can do what I do because I have a background in construction building. That's one of my
See, I do
passions
too.
that I have. Oh, you do?
Yes.
I'm a certified building commercial and residential coder, and
Look at
I
that.
love
See that?
building.
We got to talk. We have to talk.
Girl.
Yes,
So
we
yeah,
do.
I love construction. I love building. That is something that I'm very passionate about, and also something that I want to bring my skills to back home, in Africa, in so many different levels and ways, and also to help assist other people who might need to build their houses as well.
Right. And
So
you know, Liz, one of the things people don't really realize as well, even down in the southern countries of Africa, is that you may have people that look like you and I in terms of them being the majority of the population, but who has the money? An example of that is Tanzania. You have the East Indians that own the bulk of the businesses there. That's just real talk. So when people when people are talking, they should be talking about what is really happening. And so even though that they are the large business owners there are small ones. Showcase those so that when we do go to that place, we can patronize and give them our business because that is important.
yeah,
One of the things that is global is that Black people do not support Black owned businesses. This is a
that
this
is.
is a global problem. Global problem.
I agree.
And my personal sacrifice is that in everything I do, I try to find Black owned businesses. And then if I can't get it, then I go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yes, it may you may have to do a little bit more work to find that specific niche. But it's important that we support our own. You know, recognize that sure there's some businesses that the owners got some propaganda that I may not agree with, and depending on what that is, I may or may not support them. But it's just important for us to support one another, and especially on the continent,
Yeah.
because as I said, I'm just giving you an example, of one country. You mentioned Kenya. Kenya is very developed. Kenya is beautiful, but I'll tell you another country that people don't talk about. Zimbabwe. See, my first when I set this thing in motion a while ago, I had always had a contention of going back, and I wanted to live under Mugabe. People can talk about Mugabe all they want to, but Mugabe was a rider for his people. Now, sure, you all cross him, cross the philosophy of him being a rider for his people, then that means you're a threat. A threat has to be neutralized. See, people don't want to talk about that. There has never been a revolution with no casualties. I don't care where you are. You're going to have casualties. This man did something that was uncharted on the continent outside of when you talk about Sankara and Patrice Lumumba. So he was doing something, and the West began to do what? Put sanctions on Zimbabwe
Mm.
and make it where they could not basically do business, and made their currency value really plummet. And then Mugabe, he dies, and all of this stuff. And now they got somebody in there who is a direct contradiction to
Wow.
Mugabe. So yes, Zimbabwe was my first. Zimbabwe is beautiful. Zimbabweans are some of the smartest people in Southern Africa. They are highly educated, highly.
Wow.
So it is just not. See, we in the West, we're so pompous in how we think, and we think that we're better than them because we've got these fancy Ivy League schools and all of this stuff. But at the same time, you know, um, we really are the same. We don't do our research to see where are the smart Africans are. Because just like in Nigeria, the best engineers and stuff, they come out of Nigeria. I don't care what anybody says. They can call them whatever they need to call them. Your mathematicians and engineers, they come out of Nigeria. So why they have these companies from China that come and invest and do all this stuff, they should be making tenants in these contracts where they will only use engineers that are on the continent. So maybe a small country like Malawi doesn't have the engineering force. Okay, go and pull them from Nigeria.
Yes.
The boys and girls in Nigeria with the mathematics and the engineering, they bad.
Yes.
They are bad. The architects that come out of there, some of the biggest, nicest buildings here in the UAE had a Nigerian architect constructing them. Yes. So we just don't know what the talent pool is, but they have the talent pool. It's just that in terms of the diaspora, we should aid them in bridging that gap on how to deal with people who are outsiders. We got a first-hand knowledge. We know what it's like. We know all the treachery and games they play, but we have a first-hand knowledge in that. And I think that we, at some point, we're going to have to work together. And it's slow. Growth is slow. It's slow, and I understand that. I mean, it may not be in my lifetime. I'm fine with that, but I want to see progression in that. I want to see it. Right. You know, it's definitely important. I don't mean to rant and rave, but this is
no, those were good points that you brought up. And even when you said growth is a how did you say that? Growth is a what? Could you repeat that again? Growth is what?
I'm saying growth is going to be slow,
right?
But it's going to be the progress of it.
And see, in a lot of the issue with growth, some of us kill the infancy of growth.
Yes,
to the point where it stops growing because we're not getting the support that we need in order for it to grow. We kill it in the beginning. And if we don't see that or see the problem that is causing, like you said, it's going to take its process. It's going to take its time. It's a slow process, but you got to be careful not to kill the infancy of growth because it's going to go through its little stages before it becomes, to the place where it's full grown and it's matured and it's flourishing. But we don't see that. And we as a people, we kill it in an instant, especially with someone who's trying to develop their business and things like that. Like you said, as we all know, we don't support Black on Black businesses. It's because we believe that the other kind is better.
The self-hate.
The self-hate. Even here in the U.S., my friends talk about me when they want to go out to eat or whatever, and they tell me what restaurant they want to go to. And I said, well, if it's not a Black-owned restaurant, I'm not going, because we need to support our own kind. The problem that we have within our community and with us not having the wealth like other people is that we're not supporting our own businesses as we should. And I like the launch that they're doing here in the U.S. where they, it's a lot of commercial where they're saying that we need to support Black-owned businesses. And hearing the feedback from that, they said that they have seen an increase of clients and customers, and their business are doing very well. But they have to be across the board. They have to be, in Africa. It have to be, in other places, in other parts of the world, because we're literally all over the world. We have to get, of course. And we have to get out of that mindset that is about me. Well, I'm gonna do me, and it's like you can't have that me attitude. We have to do it together. We have to support one another. We have to encourage one another. It's just something that you just have to already have in your mind. Period. And if it's not that,
I totally agree.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I totally agree. There's something to be said when you can look back at your own and you see the grand rising in them. I always talk about this company here that I get my accessories from. Like, so this earring, I actually have a ring that matches that. I've been with Sassy Jones when she, last weekend on the 19th, her company debuted for the first time on HSN. But without all of this commercial hoopla, she went from her business making like $164,000 a year to over $5 million a year. She and I, we on like first name basis. When I'm in Virginia, I mean, I see her, I support her wholeheartedly. One, she has a good product. Her product is good. She designs her own stuff. Um,
Wow.
and she's a Black woman. I'm a Black woman.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so I've supported her for years and watched her company and products take on a metamorphosis,
Wow.
and how she uplifts other small Black business owners as well. You know, so we have to get into that as well. And if the business does not do good business, you don't have to bash them. You just don't go to them anymore.
Right.
You leave them alone. It's as simple
Right.
as that. That's what you do with these white businesses. See, people don't want to get real. It's time to get real. It's time to get real.
It
You know, you
really
just leave
is.
them alone. You know, and so it's part of the contention.
Hurt them in the pockets.
Exactly. That's the
Hmm.
language they understand, Liz. That is the language they understand. Someone said here, oh, Sonovia says she'll have to study Mugabe and Idi Amin more in depth. Oh, okay. Yes, yes, yes. Well, again, I'll say this. My contention with Zimbabwe was I wanted to live under a Black man that was for his people. I mean, really, all the way, 100% all the way in. I don't know what that's like. I do not know what that's like. I wanted to experience that. And of course, I did not get to experience that. And like you know, life kind of took on different turns for me. And so, again, I'm back on my square and I won't be getting off. And if people don't like that, then it is what it is. I'm not begging anybody to get on it. It's just, it is what it is. You can love me or hate me, but I am going to be the voice of reason. It's just who I am. So you talked about, so how long is this visit that you're getting ready to take in a few going to be? How long is this visit going to be?
I'm gonna be there for a month.
Okay, see,
Um,
this is good timing. Yes.
yeah, my my father's wife's, my stepmother, is kind of weird saying that, is there. I also have siblings there as well that I'm gonna reunite with as well, and have like some family time together.
Yes.
So I'm very excited about that. I may extend it a little bit longer, only for the reason is because Nigeria have the strict COVID 19 rules where you have to be in isolation or in quarantine for at least 7 days. And then my father's wife just reached out to me and she said that they extended that to 2 weeks. So I'm going to have to do some research on that, because if they do that, that's going to hinder the time that
And
I
eat up
would.
your time. Yes.
Yeah, that's going to eat up a great portion of my time because I want to go to other countries, even if it's just for 2 or 3 days. Trust me, it'll be enough for me to kind of explore and see, okay, is this where I really want to be? So it's like Ghana, the Gambia, and Tanzania, and then of course Nigeria. So I'm hoping and praying that I can at least be able to travel, but if not, then most of my time will be in Nigeria.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. You know, you can bop about as best you can, considering you know the political climate right now. There, you definitely, you know, I've followed you with your different videos and talking about the chronicling of third party airline websites, these third party websites, and you know you haven't been the only one that has struggled with that. When I had Pan Africanism Strikes Backs on the channel, he uses geez, what did he say? Steve Ledger, I believe that's what he said. And he asked me what I use. I say I typically buy my tickets directly from the airline, because if there's any hiccups, and due to the nature of my work, I can't be having all this issue with the stuff going on. So I need to purchase directly from the airline. And
Right.
he was like, well, everybody can't. I'm not saying everybody can do that. I recognize that the third party sites, because they buy seats in bulk, you can get discounts and stuff. But things like this, it's just basically a learning lesson as well, anytime that you're doing some of the travel, especially with what we got going on right now.
Right. Exactly. And that was like the unforeseen situation that I'm dealing with, because Nigeria did not bring the rule about the approved and not approved international flights that can go into their country until September. And I bought my ticket in August. And so it just so happened the airline that I chose was one of the not approved on the not approved list. Unfortunately enough, they just became on the approved list on November the 17th. So I was very excited about that.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So, but keep in mind, I didn't consider when I bought the ticket that there was going to be issues with the whole COVID thing and the whole, like when I bought the ticket, I also had applied for my passport to be renewed because my name changed. I had changed it back to my mother's maiden name. And I was like, my passport wasn't expired, but I just needed to update it with the name change. And it took almost 3 months for me to get it back, which now I'm dealing with another issue that I have not exposed, which is getting the visa. So the visa is, to get an appointment with the visa is so backed up. You have to go through other third-party people to assist you, which they are like literally price gouging, in my opinion. So, but I finally got a chance to make an appointment in DC. I'll be in DC next week to get that taken care of. And I hope there won't be any complications because the time frame that I have is very short now. But I believe everything is going to work out. I'm very optimistic about it. But that's the whole reason why I'm documenting my journey, is so that people can learn from my mistakes. And so people can consider, okay, well, if Finish the Race was doing this, and she ran into this type of complication, do your research, take the time. Just like you said, you decided to purchase your airline tickets straight from the actual airlines. And that's my decision as well. Had I known better, I would have just done it, because they assist you better when in this whole COVID-19, climate or whatever. When you with a third party vendor, they come with the penalties. They come with, you got to pay this and that. They literally was telling me that I need to pay $750 to change my ticket, and just in case to change the airline, just in case if that airline did not become on the approved list to go into Nigeria. So, but with that being said, it did work out. They're on the approved list now, but just going forward in the future, I won't risk it again. I won't.
Right. And being here in Dubai, I saw what was happening with the Nigerians and them trying to get home, and all the stuff that was happening with the Africans in China and all that stuff. And I again, I have to commend the aviation minister for cracking down on these airlines for treating them like that. So that's a part of being a patriot. Right, wrong, indifference, and inconveniencing others who are not citizens at some point, because the West is going to stand up for her people. They should do the same for their people.
Right.
And so I found that to be, I liked it. I did. It's just a mess.
Right.
Somebody in the chat was saying, Liz, they were talking about, you have some Blacks in the diaspora that have come back, and they are saying which country is better and all of that. No, we're not contending that. All we're saying, there's enough countries for a person to choose from and make their mark. Now, sure, there's pros and cons of everywhere, just like there's pros and cons in the West. So I don't really see why they are saying one is better than the other. There's pros and cons to anywhere you go. It's all about what you're going to be able to handle and what you decide that you're going to deal with.
Exactly.
So, they're asking, can you repeat the name of your channel, Liz?
Finish the Race VL. Did you hear me?
Elizabeth. Yes, that was Elizabeth Narco there.
Oh, I've seen her before. I've seen her on other channels.
Okay. And then someone said, so she said this comment as well. This is right here.
Okay, so they're saying one country in Africa is better than the other. I mean, it all depends. It's a personal preference.
Correct. That's what I say. Exactly.
Yeah, it's a personal preference. What you like and what you dislike.
Correct. So actually I want to ask you a couple more questions before we end our conversation this evening.
Okay.
Because it's actually nighttime here, as you know. Um, if a person is saying to themselves that they want to basically repatriate, what does repatriation really mean to you? If you're trying to caveat that to somebody, to give them an idea, like, oh wow, I never thought about it that way, how would you express that outwardly?
Well, for me is connecting to my roots, is connecting to a place that I know that my ancestors are from and where we are in our bloodline. And why not have the opportunity to get to know more of yourself? I believe that our whole identity, especially here in the West, has been stolen from us, and we never had the opportunity to, like, you can, like, I've had conversation with friends. um okay, let me just say this one thing. I work I have several little small businesses,
Okay.
and I have an insurance business where I work with predominantly Asian people, and my last name is Lee, which is a very common last name with Asians.
Yeah.
And they were like, "What are you doing with a last name like that?" And I had another friend of mine who was with me. She's African American, and we kind of both looked at each other. And I said, "Well, technically, our last name comes from the slaves' master's last name, and and that's one of the things that I'm going to change before I leave here." And I said, "This is nothing that we're identified by our last name, which is where our slave master's last name or their names, and it was just attached onto our names." And I said, "That's where the Lee come from, because it didn't come from my family. We didn't make up that last name, and this is something that has just been carried on into the generation, throughout generations." And for me, I want to know who I am through my lineages, my African lineage, and also and know the tradition, the culture. Like, there's so much more about me. There's things that I know that is different about me being here in Africa that I know that I connect with more being back home in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just some things that I know that I'm like, this is not me. So for me, is connecting where I know that I'm from and learning more about who I am spiritually. And that's going to be like the second phase of my life, is discovering more of who I am. Right now I'm in the beginning stage where I'm making the preparation for it. But once I get settled in, then I would have that time, that healing time, that detoxing time, detoxing from the Western world of thinking, the Western world of behaving. And I noticed that even with here, I have some issues with anger issues. I have to sometimes check myself and be like, what's going on? It's because the environment is so toxic that I'm not able to be who I am spiritually, and also who I am as an African, So for me, it's connecting back from where I'm from and getting to know more of who I am through my lineage.
If you recall, James Baldwin basically said, to be black in America, you're in a constant state of rage. America made you that way. Mm-hmm. She's a nasty, nasty beast, period.
Yeah.
And anybody that says different, the history denotes to who she is. That's real talk. You ever hear men and they say, "Ooh, honey, a woman's scorned." America is scorned. She's scorned against her own citizens. And it's time for us to say, hey, she is not going to do right by us. It's time to try something different. That's all we're doing. We're going to try something different.
Right. And I don't see it changing. Right. I don't foresee it changing anytime soon. I mean, with this whole election term with the Trump, even Trump don't even want to go out of office. It's so, I don't see it getting any better. I mean, we're still in the news where we're seeing so much killings. They're still going on, lynching. I mean, even young kids coming up missing, Black young children coming up missing. I don't know if you recently heard that story about the young boy that was found in the sugarcane field.
Yes,
or whatever.
I made a video about it, Liz. Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. Every day is a new story. And the funny thing is, in the mainstream media, they're not putting that out there. We're getting this information from Black media that's trying to bring awareness to the Black community who is completely blind to what's going on. I speak to some of my associate friends here, and they think I'm crazy when I say you guys need to keep your head on a swivel because it can happen to you at any time.
Anytime.
You need to keep your eyes on your kids. I don't have any children, but when I see kids out, when I see little Black little boys and Black little girls outside by themselves, I'm like, where your mama at? Who's watching you? No, seriously, because all it takes is an opportunity from one of these little devils to come and say, oh, this is my opportunity to take, because this is the climate that we're living in now. And if we don't protect ours and protect ourselves, we're going to find ourselves in a really bad mess, So, I believe if no one have not considered going to Africa, period, but at least consider it for those things to protect yourself, to find a better, who want to constantly have to keep marching and keep fighting and keep protesting over the same thing. My grandmother used to tell me stories, and now I'm at an age where I'm gonna be telling stories. It's like, how much longer do we have to continue to do that? I don't want to fight anymore. I want to be able to live in happiness and peace. And I don't feel that here in America at all. I don't feel that here in the West. I don't.
Listen, I totally understand. That's part of my contention too. When I think about like all of the Black men at home that I love, and I think about how they could easily be targeted just for having beautiful Black skin, it saddens me. It really, really does. And I'll release the video on Monday. I had Tim Swain on, and one of the things that he was talking about being a parent, he and his wife are in Ghana. And all of the things that he said, he would normally look out to protect his son. He doesn't have to do that in Ghana. Like, he went out for a run, he said, and he saw a little baby, a toddler rather, outside, and the toddler was naked. Well, you and I know, and as he said, and he's from Houston also, Liz. So it's like all these Houstonians, yes, all these Houstonians.
Are you a Houstonian?
I am. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I remember you said you was from Texas, but you didn't.
I'm from Dallas, but I have my house in Houston.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Awesome.
he was saying, Liz, that if he was back in Houston, there is no way he would have been trying to get the little boy to find the mother, just because of the danger of a kid being out there, and all of these pedos that we have, and all of that causes a parent to consistently have to worry about the safety of their child. He doesn't have that in Ghana.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is. He said, I'm not saying that a parent does not have to be safe, because the parent is always safe. He said, but the same way that a person raises their children with all of those safety mechanisms at home, he doesn't have to do that there and constantly be stressed out, worried about, is his child going to be kidnapped, and all of these torturous things happening. So I find it, I was saying to him, I find it to be uplifting, because I know myself, there's no way I could be a parent stateside. I'd be on psychotropic meds, having to consistently worry about, in the climate that we're in now, if my child is not going to make it home. That has to wear on you. Have all these health ailments that come along with stress, stroke, etc. I couldn't imagine it.
Yes, it's by design, but it shouldn't be by design. Look at Troy Jones talking about H-Town. All right,
yes, because he's from Houston. He's from Houston.
Is he?
He is. Houston in the house, girl.
We representing. Yes. That is by design. That is like that. But I want to be able to have that peace, that freedom, that happiness, and I understand that there's a lot that we have to work on as a people. But if we all take our time to contribute what we can to society and to our community, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Do what you can do to bring a positive effect in your community. So for me, when I do get a chance to settle in, whether it's going to be Nigeria, Ghana, the Gambia, or Tanzania, wherever, I'm going to do my part because I'm tired of talking. I'm going to show what I'm going to do by action. And I see a lot of people talking, and I see very, very few actually contributing or doing something positive to help bring a community to get together. Even if it just start with a small group of people, you do your portion, and then whatever your gift is, that it will grow. Like we said, we have the same common thing with construction and building. Whatever it is, it could be farming or whatever. Do what you can do to support those who you're going to be a part of in your community, and allow that community to grow. And then it can you kind of just move on, build your empires in different areas. But I'm tired of talking. I want to see actions. I'm going to do, when I get there, I'm going to focus on, first I'm going to go through my healing process, and then I'm going to focus on building my businesses as well, and also helping to contribute into the community.
You bring up a good point. I'm always on this channel talking about collectivism. See, and I am an action person, and it is just a part of my personality. If I say I'm going to do something, my word, Elizabeth's word is her bond. There's nobody on planet Earth that can tell you different about me. If I said I'm doing something, I do it.
Right.
But I recognize, sure, everyone doesn't live by that specific code. I got 7 set of principles that I live my life by. You can check that video out. The principles by I don't do nobody's. I don't do religion. I don't do any of that, because I just feel that if you want your fellow man, if you treat your fellow man like you want to be treated, all this will fall in line. That's a basic principle. Right. But you're absolutely correct in terms of the community. We have to do something collectively, then we can be successful. But the West has perpetuated us to be isolated, Liz, for so long that it's going to take some time for us to get into that motion.
Yeah. But
So,
if we have to, but if you have to lead by example, even though here I try so hard, even with my own family, to show that how important it is for us to support one another, even though if it's not reciprocated back to me, I make sure that I always extend my hand and my help and my resources to those who may need it. Even though I know it's not coming back to me, it doesn't matter. But what I do, I'm planting a seed. Because once they see that, okay, Liz is always here to support. Liz is always here, whenever we need something. Whatever the case may be, you plant a seed. And when you plant that seed, it would eventually grow. People watch you. They may not say anything, or they can, and even the ones who are hating on you, trust me, you're still planting a seed in those to see that, you know what, she's actually doing something over there. Like, for instance, and I know we're about to get close to the hour mark.
Go ahead.
The ES, Eat, Migrate. What's her channel name?
Eat, Love, Migrate.
Eat, Love, Migrate. She is a proven example of that. And she has some hate going towards her as well. But one thing I admire about that sister that inspires me is that she's doing her part. She is working for her community. She is supporting her community, like the actual local community that's there. And then also extending out for those who are willing to come to Ghana to kind of go through their healing process. You see it in the work. You see it in the work. You can see the evidence of it. She's not just all talk. She's actually doing the work. So she inspired me to keep my mouth shut and show the proof of, and do action and show proof of what I can do. Even if it's not being reciprocated to you, you still do what you do, because you're planting a seed in others. She planted a seed in me. Oh, thank you. She planted a seed in me. And that's what we need to do. We need to just plant these little seeds, and the right people will come our way that's going to help support you in your vision or your gifts or whatever your talents are. It's going to flourish. It's going to happen.
Yes.
Thank you for that comment.
Yes. And people don't. So I'm a person, I move in silence. That's just who I am. And then when it happens, people are like, well, you didn't tell me. well, that's just how I am. Some people like who consider themselves to be close to me, they'll get offended because they didn't know that I was doing, but that's just who I am as a person. But I am definitely all about the proof is in the pudding. Show me the pudding. Okay. I want to see the pudding. I want to see the actual building. You don't have to say it's going on, but like you say, just your works, your portfolio of what you have done.
Yes.
And I think what's going to happen to you, what you're going to see as well. And I'm actually going to, I'm going to have another guest that I had on here before. We're going to talk about this. What you're actually going to see is that the people who are about works are going to show up the people who are not, because even though we may be a small population, I see what you're doing. This person's been here this long and they haven't done X, Y, and Z. Some people are going to be shown up. I don't care about your personal feelings, because see, I got a nasty mouth. I will lay somebody out with this mouth, okay?
Come on,
I don't care about
Lizzabitty.
your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. But absolutely, if I am just a doer. That's just who I am. And someone in a little group, they were like, well, when do you think you're going to stop working? I'm a born worker. I'm never going to stop working. I probably died in the field somewhere farming. I'm going to always be working on something. There's never going to be a time in my life that I'm not working, but but I totally agree with everything you're saying. And of course, that collectivism, that is so important. It is so important. So we can get out of the mindset of the West of being separate. We have to get out of that. We can get more done together than apart. And I will end on that. Any final words for you?
No, I'm just really thankful that you allow me to come on your platform. I really appreciate that. You're such a lovely person. I love your spirit. I connect with people's spirits, and it's something special about you. And I didn't even
I'm
know
real.
you. And
I'm
you
real black.
yes.
I'm real black. I'm blackly black. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and to all those who are watching, come stop by to finish the race.
Yes.
Yeah, come and
Yes.
check out my channel. Right now, I'm documenting my journey on returning back home to mama. And so, just for people to learn from my experience and also to see a different perspective through my eyes. And so, yeah, stop by and come and see me.
Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. Okay, guys and girls out there, thank you all for joining. And we are going to take you out.